Welcome back, everyone. This is T. Roy back in the building. I got another tutorial for you today. We're going to be going over a beat that I cooked up in the MPC Beats desktop software, and I only used the Player 2 VST from Sound Selection for this entire beat. I know a lot of people would like to use other DAWs like FL Studio, Logic Pro, Ableton, Pro Tools, or what have you. And there's nothing wrong with any of those DAWs. I always recommend that a person should learn at least two different DAWs or more. That way you don't limit yourself. And you'll find that once you become familiar with one or two other DAWs, it's easier to navigate through pretty much any DAW, because they all can perform some of the same tasks. Sometimes the steps to do those tasks may be a little bit different, but like I said, today we are going to be using the MPC Beats desktop software, and I also have my MPC X connected in conjunction with this software. So throughout the video, if you happen to see me looking down from time to time, it's because I'm looking at the controls on the MPC. During that time, you'll still be able to see everything that I'm actually doing on the screen. So like I said, this beat that we're going to go through today, I'm actually using only the Player 2 VST from Sound Selection. So without further ado, the first thing you need to do when you pull up a track is you want to, in order to install or use that VST, you got to open up this menu here. And for those of you that may not know, this is where you pull up all your VSTs. All my VSTs are categorized by the manufacturer because I have this box checked here. And it's just, for me, that's just my preference, and it makes it easier. So then all I got to do is go down here to what manufacturer of that VST. I know most of them already. So this one is going to be Sound Selection Kit. So I open that box right there, and I got the player and the Player 2. The Player 2 obviously is the one that's already been used, already loaded up, but I'm just going through this step to show you how to do it in case you want to get started and you don't already have it loaded up. So then we just select that, and then you got to hit the box next to that tab right here, and then that brings up the actual VST. And you see I'm using the Marina pad sound on here. Let's give it a go one time. Now, what I like about this VST is there's a lot of different parameters that I can mess around and play with. But before I get into all that, I want to show you the easiest way to kind of scroll through the sounds. There's three different ways. So the first way, you can just turn this knob right here, I'll show you, and scroll through different sounds on here. You'll see them start to play different ones as I'm scrolling through there. All right. And then the other way to go through the sounds on here is to see these tabs on the left and right sides. I can just click on that and change the sounds through that method. And then if there is a specific sound that you already know that you're looking for, then there's a third method, and you can just click on this display right here. Boom, and then all the sounds come up for that bank. So we'll go back to the Marina pad sound because that's the one I actually use for this beat, and click on that. Boom. Now let's go to the next track. Next track, I believe I just used a hand clap. Yep. And so remember, every time you go to the next track on the MPC, you're going to have to pull up the new instant of the Player VST2 plugin. So there's the town clap that I use on there. So I'll show you what I was getting ready to tell you about earlier, is the different parameters that you can tweak and play with. So you got the reverb on here, so I can tweak that. Or we can play with the delay on here. And then what's cool about the delay is I can also adjust the delay settings. So here we go. For example, we'll change it this. See that? And of course we can change the pan or the volume, then the sustain and the attack. Let's go to the next track here. So, like I said, remember, don't forget every time you change tracks, you got to go to the next instant of that VST that you're using. Let's see, there's the trunk kick that I'm using on there. So, like I said, if I wanted to go through different sounds on the drums right there, I go to the drum bank, and it's got all the sounds right here. Or I can, like I said, just use this knob and just scroll through them like that, you know, if I wanted to do it that way. All right, let's go to the next track here. Next track is just a hi-hat here. The tick hat. Go to the next track here. Now this is the Northside Cruise lead out the lead bank. Like I said, if I wanted to try out some different ones, I could just click on it, or I could just scroll. We'll go back to there. Let's go to the next track here. All right, so the next track, I think it's gonna be the bass line. Yep. The Northside Glide bass is what we use, but like I said, if I want to audition some different ones, all I gotta do is turn this knob. Let's keep it going. Put a wah-wah on there. It's kind of nice to have that hit on the one, just for some effects and emphasis. Let's go to the next one. Just a simple little open hi-hat on there. And then, so I took the synth sound, that pad sound, and just layered it with some pianos here. Let's see which one I use. The 707 piano, of course, 707 in the building. Once again, like I said, if I want to audition some different ones, all I gotta do is go like this. And see, it'll just run me through it. Or, like I said, you can open up this one and it'll show you all the sounds in that one bank. They all sound kind of nice. You just pick which one is your flavor. So I think that's it, and we're gonna play it all together. I'll let you see here how it sounds when you bust it all down together, as I always say. And here we go.